All right, without wasting any much of time, I'm gonna quickly share what I'm seeing on the market. So what I'm looking at right now is AUDNZD, and I am looking at the weekly time frame. And within this weekly time frame, I can quickly see, without even analyzing, that on the weekly time frame we had that strong push to the downside, and after that strong push to the downside, we are now starting to see a series of a ranging market, which is the consolidating market, which is the sideways market, right? But because we are on the weekly time frame, we can profit from this kind of movement, because here on the weekly time frame there are a lot of movements if we analyze it and go onto those smaller time frames. So within this weekly time frame, a single movement could mean that we have a pattern or a structure when we go onto those lower time frames. That is the reason I'm saying we can profit from this kind of movement here on the weekly time frame. So within this AUDNZD, I can already take that level right there as my area of value, and that area right there as my area of value, right? So we can now see that we have a clear sideways market movement, right? This is a sideways market, right? But as I zoom into this whole market movement, I can already see that the market moved impulsively to the downside and then gave us this lowest level of the market, and then after that the market bounced back up to give us that level right there, right? So now we have a supply and we have a demand, right? Which simply means we have there is the support and the resistance level, right? So this is the support level, this is our resistance level, right? So the market moved from support to resistance, from the resistance the market moved back to support, and from support the market moved back to resistance, right? But we wanna what I wanna focus on right now is how the market approached this area right here, right? As I always do every time, you really want to be looking at is how the market approaches these areas right here, how the market approaches the previous turning points, right? So here I can already see that the market approached that area in a form of a series, in a form of a structure. We have that 1 2 3 formation right there. So you can already see that the market approached that area in a form of a 1 2 3 formation structure, right? That being our first touches right there, that being our second touch right there, and that being our third touch right there, right? And our third touch will always be our highest probability to enter the market, to move with it to the downside, because now the market approached this area in a form of an ascending structure. This is an uptrending structure, right? So within this whole consolidating movement or a sideways market, we have this structure which is an uptrending structure as well, right? So because it's an uptrending structure, it means that the market is getting ready to push to the downside, right? So we have that 1 2 3 formation on the upper level, and then we have that 1 2 3 formation on the lowest level of the market, right? We have that 1 2 3 formation, right? Let me just quickly fix that. Okay, we have one first touch right there, and then our second touch is right there, and then it didn't really touch there, but I will count it as our second touch, right? And then we have our third touches right there, right? And if we're being honest about this market movement, the next move that this AUDNZD is gonna make is to push to the downside and then come back and retest some levels up here and then continue moving lower, right? Because we already saw how the market is moving. The market moved from support to resistance, from resistance to support, from support to resistance, and from resistance back to support, right? Now what I want to do right now is to go onto the lower time frame, right? And when I get onto that lower time frame, we want to focus on what is happening on the current market movement and how we can go about approaching this market movement. How are we gonna enter this market if we are gonna be involved in this market, right? Okay, what I want to do right now is to go onto the daily time frame. When I get onto the daily time frame, what I want to focus on is this this whole movement right here, right? So we can see now that we have that area right there, and we have that area right there, and we have that area right there, right? What does this mean? It means now that the market is indicating that it's getting ready to push to the downside. So sellers are getting ready to take over this market, right? Why am I saying that? I am saying that because the market has already approached this area in a form of a structure that we saw on the weekly time frame, right? And we can see that there is a strong push to the downside, right? What did I say about the strong push? Every time you see a strong move in the market will create some sort of a structure. So this structure, to me, it is representing a continuation pattern to the downside, right? So within this whole pattern right here, we can already see that this was our first touch that has been created, the first level that the market created, right? Then we have this second level right here, and then we have the third level right there, right? So we have 1 2 3 formation, right? And on the lower level of this market, we have that first level right there, and then we have that second level right there. If we are being honest about this market, what are we expecting next? Because the market moved from here to here, and then from here the market went back up, right? From that resistance the market went back down. From that supply level the market went back up to the resistance, right? If we are being honest, if the market is moving from here to the downside, where is it going next? It means that the market is now telling us that from these areas the market will push to the downside and break below these trends, right? So what I want to do right now is to go further onto the lower time frame, which in this case it's going to be the 4 hours time frame, right? So when I get onto this 4 hours time frame, what I want to look at right now is how the market moved from these areas to where it is now, right? We can see that the market moved from that area in a form of a strong move to the downside, right? And that strong push created this sort of a structure, right? So that structure, to me, I can see that it's a 1 2 3 formation. We have that first point right there, second point, and now we expect what? The third point right there, right? We also have what? First point right there, second point right there, and then we expect what? The market to reach that area right there as our third level, because we already have our first touch right there, second touch right there, Now we expect the market to push maybe until it reaches that level before it pushes to the downside, right? And let's look at how the market is approaching that. Let's look at how the market is gonna approach that area. I can already see that the market is approaching that area in a form of an inside pattern, which is an ascending pattern also. We have that 1 2 3 formation right there that is being created. We have that first touch right there, second touch right there. Now we expect that third touch right there, right? So now I'm gonna just wait for the market to reach this area right here for me to enter the market, right? I'm gonna wait for the market to at least reach this area before I enter the market to push it to the downside, because I can already see that this is a pattern within a pattern, this pattern is representing a continuation pattern to the downside. So I'm gonna wait for the market to at least reach these areas right here before I can enter my selling orders, and I'm just gonna place my trade above these areas right here. My stop loss will be based on how the market will be moving around these areas and the candlesticks pattern that will be presented by the market, and I'm gonna just push the market all the way to the downside. And my second entries will be when the market reaches these areas right here, and then I'm gonna just push the market all the way to the downside, maybe until this trend right here, and maybe I'm gonna just enter when the market breaks below this, and my stop loss being at the areas where the market created a zone or a level, and I'm gonna just take profit right here. And this is how I'm gonna be approaching this AUDNZD.